Introduction. Monk, have you ever felt a sudden surge of anger? So powerful, so overwhelming, that in a single moment, words were said, actions were taken, and regret followed? Anger is like fire. It burns everything in its path. Relationships, peace of mind, even health. And yet, we hold on to it, thinking we have no choice. But what if I told you there's a cure? A way to dissolve anger before it destroys? Not by suppressing it, not by ignoring it, but by understanding its true nature. Today, let me share a story, one that changed my life forever. Story: The Man Who Carried Anger. Monk. Many years ago, a troubled man came to see my teacher. His face was tight with frustration, his fists clenched. I try to control my anger, he said, but it keeps coming back. I meditate, I breathe, but the smallest thing triggers me. I cannot escape it. My teacher simply smiled and handed him a cup of water. Hold this, he said, and then, without warning, poured a handful of salt into it. The man looked confused. Now drink, my teacher instructed. The man took a sip and winced. It's bitter, he exclaimed. My teacher then led him to a nearby lake. He sprinkled the same amount of salt into the water and said, now drink from the lake. The man hesitated, but did as he was told. This time he smiled. It tastes fresh, he said. The bitterness is gone. The salt is your anger, my teacher explained. The water is your mind. When your mind is small, even a little anger makes it bitter. But when your mind is vast, the same anger becomes insignificant. The cure for anger is not to remove it. It is to expand your mind. Lesson 1. The power of space. Monk. The first step to dissolving anger is to give it space. When we are angry, our world shrinks. Our focus narrows to a single point, the thing that upset us. But in reality, that moment is small. The universe is vast. Our lives are bigger than one insult, one argument, one mistake. When you feel anger rise, do not react. Instead, step back, breathe, ask yourself, will this matter in a day, a week, a year? Most of the time, you'll find the answer is no. A moment of pause can save a lifetime of regret. Lesson 2. Seeing through the eyes of compassion. Monk. Imagine walking down the street and someone bumps into you. If you turn and see it was a blind man, do you get angry? No. You understand. He could not see. Now imagine someone insults you. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone betrays your trust. What if in that moment you could see their pain? What if you knew they were carrying burdens you could not see? Most anger comes from misunderstanding. If we could truly see into the hearts of others, we would not feel anger. We would feel compassion. The next time anger arises, ask yourself, what pain is this person carrying? This simple shift in perspective can change everything. Lesson 3. Letting go is freedom. Monk. There's an old story of two monks walking near a river. They see a woman struggling to cross. One monk lifts her onto his shoulders, carries her across, and sets her down. They continue their journey. Hours later, the other monk says, brother, why did you carry that woman? Our vows forbid us from touching women. The first monk smiles and says, I set her down at the river. Why are you still carrying her? Anger is like that. We carry it long after the moment has passed. But holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The truth is, the one who holds on to anger is the one who suffers the most. Let go. Not for them, but for you. Final wisdom. The magic cure. Monk. So what is the magic cure for anger? It is not to fight it, not to suppress it, but to transform it. Keycap 1. Create space. Breathe. Step back. And let perspective widen your view. Keycap 2. See with compassion. Understand that everyone is carrying unseen burdens. Keycap 3. Let go. Anger is a heavy weight. Free yourself from its grasp. Anger is not something we must be trapped by. It is something we can rise above. Like the salt in the lake, let your mind become vast. And in that vastness, you will find peace. If this lesson resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it. And tell me in the comments, how do you handle anger? May your heart be light, your mind be free, and your life be filled with wisdom. Until we meet again, stay mindful.